Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Locker Room College Football Edition. This show is hosted by myself, Will Compton, and the commissioner himself, Josh Pate. Let's take a peek over here. Who knows ball? Last week, Will Compton knew ball. He went 4-1. Your boy your boy went 3-2, and Josh, the commissioner of college football, only went 2-3, leaving our standings to Will and Josh being at 5-7, your boy being at 6-6. Now, we know our boy's hurting right now. We need to subscribe. We need to rate 5 stars. We also need to comment. What should you comment? Let's say something nice about Josh Pate. This is his livelihood. This is the thing he goes to every single week. And for him to have a 2-3 week, you know he's going to bounce back in a big way. We've got to have it, but we've also got to nurture and give him that energy. Big day, big show. It's going to be great. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Let's get started. All right, guys, welcome into the Locker Room. I was just standing over there, and now I'm sitting over here. Let's talk about FanDuel. The Locker Room is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. Before we get into things, we just want to remind you guys that gambling is for entertainment, and FanDuel always has your back with tons of responsible gaming tools to make sure your play stays fun and stress-free. Check out FanDuel.com/RG or responsible gaming section in the app to learn more about staying in control of your game.
All right, boys, the college football season is already off to a great start, and FanDuel's got something special coming your way every single week.
And this Saturday, all customers can opt into not one, not two, but 3 50% college football profit boost tokens.
And last, but most certainly, wait, which part of my... First things first, we've got the big matchup on campus. PBT, that's a 50% profit boost token on any Georgia versus Tennessee wager.
Next, there's a 50% PBT on Texas A&M versus Notre Dame bet.
And last but most certainly not least, you've got the one, the only Bussin With The Boys 50% profit boost token on any college football Saturday bet.
So throw down your bets on these games, slap on those profit boosts, and watch the money roll in when you cash your tickets.
Do not sleep on these profit boost tokens, boys. Head over to FanDuel.com/Bussin, download the app, and let's get this bread on this week's can't miss matchups. Gentlemen,
we're here.
We're here.
Hey, first off, I want to say big congratulations to you. Going 4-1 in week 2 when you're still trying to dial in the teams, who's who in the zoo, who's real contenders, who's faking it till they making it type of thing. 4-1 is a big deal.
I had to bounce back. The week before when we were on like the opening week, it was a lot of week 1 football that I displayed. I said, this is the iPad game. I'm seeing the board as clearly as I ever have. Obviously didn't.
Yeah.
So I needed to bounce back last week. It felt good. What I'm most surprised about, we got the number 1 guy in college football.
Number 1 guy.
Going 2-3.
Right,
like he's got nothing else going on.
Josh.
That's it. I can't even spell NFL. This is all I do.
I can't even spell NFL.
Everybody says trust the process.
Yeah.
Everybody can say trust the process. This week's when you find out. How much do you trust your process? Because I'm going to trust my process. I'm not changing a thing. I'm actually digging in, 12 toes down. And as I told you, if I had it all over to do again, would I change my pick from Missouri to Kansas on a Friday night? Yes, I wouldn't publicize it. That's the only thing I would
Secret
change.
behind closed doors.
Yeah, that way it's best of both worlds. You win if they lose, and if they lose, you just tell everyone, dude, didn't you watch Friday Night Lions on Instagram Live? I changed my pick. Unfortunately, everyone was watching, including many here, and I appreciate that, but then it got blasted out, and then I couldn't hide from it.
I had it going on. I had my phone kind of sitting in the bathroom, and I was changing, getting into something else. I didn't even have to hear you make the switch. I felt it underneath my feet.
Yeah.
That something that happened.
All 12 toes.
Yeah, that you changed the pick, and I right away I texted you, buddy, you sure this is the move here?
I had that go against me last week, and then Kiffin's up 10, and they're driving,
got me too.
and they give up a missed tackle, and Kentucky gets down there, and Kentucky's about to run a play with 8 seconds to go, down 10, and then Kiffin calls a timeout, and then someone gets in Mark Stoops' ear. Cover. They kick a field goal, 8 seconds to go.
That was disgusting.
Yes.
That was diabolical.
That you gotta respect it.
Because I think it was Chef. Chef had himself a nice little parlay, and all I needed was the cover, and they literally went down. We're like, hey, we know what the line is.
Tough.
Gotta respect a coach that understands the line. Gotta respect
We
that.
do. Everybody in the comment section, we got to put our arms around Pate because this is your life. Like,
Please.
we'll have For the Dads dropping. We got NFL stuff going on.
Spooktober's right around the corner.
Spooktober's around the corner, and it'll be Monday Night Football, and you're watching Monday Night Football.
Right.
Vikings, Bears, or in the middle of Buffalo and the Ravens, and you'll be at halftime, and you'll just check your timeline, and Josh Pate's sick of mentality back. There's a storm brewing between Vanderbilt and South Carolina.
The Ravens and Bills are getting after it. Yeah, it's crazy. It also shows you should diversify your portfolio a little bit.
I should. Like, I've got a family. I've got a wife.
You're not recession-proof.
I technically have other things going on, but this is it. This is the hook in the closet. This is what I hang every day.
Yeah. Talk about respecting the process.
The process.
Understanding the process. Talk to me about Michigan, Oklahoma. Make me feel better. Please.
Well, you got a chance to redeem yourself. You're undefeated in conference, right?
Yeah,
You haven't even lost a conference game.
That's
so you're
fact.
tied for first in the Big Ten. Look, everyone's going to taste their blood. Did any of us predict anyone to go undefeated this year?
No, I think everybody predicted everybody to go 10-2.
Yeah, so at least, well, at most, you got one of your losses out of the way early. And so now you clean things up. You learn that you actually do need to develop an option at receiver. Maybe you played the best defense you're going to see all year last week. Maybe. Or on the other hand, it could just be that 2026 is the year for Michigan, like I said in spring.
Yeah, but let's next time I ask a question, let's leave that last comment out, right? Let's just keep ultimate optimism.
Look, you went 4-1 last week. I didn't. So why are you asking me anything?
I would go 0-6 or 0-5 to have Michigan at least have a better game plan. Because it seemed like way too conservative. Like, let's not mess this up for Bryson. Let's not kill his confidence.
Josh, listen, you were at the game.
Yeah.
We were streaming in the stream room, and he's laying horizontal on the couch at halftime.
Also, that's Lazy Boy Nashville. That's a family-owned business, and I wanted to be comfortable.
Head on his head like this, sulking, like the game's over.
Support local business. +1 to you. Do you ever do that thing where you're at a sporting event or you're somewhere loud, you're scrolling, and you see something that you probably need the audio for to fully appreciate, but you can't hear, so you're just having to settle for the visual? That was me at the Oklahoma game. I'm scrolling. I know you guys are streaming. I know they're clipping, and I see at one point you're upright, and then you're on the ground, and then you're laying down, and I know, man, I need audio on this.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure it was entertaining for the public. I was in hell.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. And the thing I love most about Michigan is like the grit. When their backs are against the wall, they find a way to fight, and they're never counted out. This is the first game that I watched, and I was like, "What's our identity?"
Yeah.
Because I was hurt a little bit.
2 games Saturday. I'm at the early game, Iowa State, the late game, OU, Michigan.
Love Rocco Becht.
Both of them feel the same way. Both of them are road team only wins this if home team finds a way to hand them the game. Iowa can't. That's its own thing. You think you struggle for offensive identity. Iowa is its own universe.
Iowa actually has an identity on offense.
They don't have one.
Yeah, they don't have one.
It's called defense and special teams. That
Right.
is their offensive identity. And so I watched that. Iowa State didn't give the game away. Then you go down to OU, and you're watching Michigan, and slowly it starts to unfold. Evening starts to present itself for what it's going to be, and you're like, I know that this is technically a 1-score game right now. Like, they got it to a 1-score game in the second half. I don't feel like there's any way Michigan takes this unless it's handed to them.
Right, they got hit in the mouth, and they just laid down.
Well, I think that's the opposite of what he's saying. They got hit in the mouth, and it was still a 1-score game.
Yeah,
it's
a 1-score game, and there was no feeling throughout the rest of the second half, or even going into halftime, to where you're like, this seems way bigger margin than what we're seeing right now. Which at the end of the day, this is a 1-score game.
I'm just saying,
you didn't feel that way on the blue side.
SMU Baylor, that was 1-score game. That thing's going like this the entire afternoon. I don't even care if someone's got a 10-point lead, 14-point lead. I could look at my scoreboard 10 minutes later, it's on its ear.
Yeah.
I never felt like that game was like that.
Shout out to Sherm getting the Baylor win, but I was heartbroken that SMU missed that field goal.
Tough.
That was just
Very tough.
I had a nice little. I think we all had a nice little parlay, right? Who put that in there? G, and it looks so good too. It looks so good. I was at the gas station buying way too many lottery tickets. Didn't win, by the way. I'm still here. And it was tough. Should we get into the games?
We got some big ones coming up.
Big boys.
You want to just preview the games we're going to be talking about?
Games we'll be talking about. We're talking about Florida at LSU, Vanderbilt at South Carolina, USF 2-0 versus 2 ranked teams versus number 5 Miami at Miami. Texas A&M travels up to Notre Dame after last year they played in where do they play in A&M? College Station. That's a tough one not to remember. And then game of the week, true classic game of the week is going to be Georgia at Tennessee. We got a lot of guys in the background here. Some guys who went to Tennessee wearing Tennessee stuff. One guy that went to Tennessee that is not wearing any Tennessee stuff, and Jeremy Klump, who's bleeding orange since 2025. So a lot of guys looking at that last game, hoping we don't let them down. But the first game we're going to start with is Florida at LSU. Who wants to take this one?
I like the wounded animal. Florida at LSU. You sit there and I'm watching them versus USF, and it's opportunities that they're soiling. Like, the reason that Miami is favored 17.5 against South Florida this weekend is because, like, Florida should have easily won that game last week. Easily should have won that game. They had the quarterback Brown, tip my cap to him. They struggled getting him down before halftime comes when they have an opportunity, miss 2 sacks on him, and he sets them up for a field goal to go in the halftime. But you have the game in the bag. It's third down, and they're backed up on their last drive, and Florida gets a pass interference. It's 3rd and 8 in Florida. DJ Lagway drops it in the bucket. They drop the ball and they would have iced the game. 11 penalties over 100 yards. Are you a Napier guy?
I like him as a person.
Do you think he's made of the right stuff?
I'm going to have a whole theory on that. Finish your point. I'll answer long form.
If we like Napier, if we think he's made of the right stuff, which in my opinion, it's like this staff is celebrating in your face after the game in the hallway. There's enough juice there to be like, what we put out on tape was not us. All the history, everything's going to come in record-wise with Florida. Because if they lose this game, this is a must-win for me, for Napier, because if not, they want him out of there. But to me, like, the effort was there. It's just disciplined football. It's spitting on guys in the second half during crucial moments. It's all of these penalties, it's all these things, but this team is talented. I'm taking them against LSU at Death Valley. Because I think LSU has their own few issues going on. Listen, Nussmeier, he's going to be a stud, but he's not going to beat you on the ground, which I felt like at times Brown got them out of broken situations, broken plays, like with his legs on the ground. Yeah. Where Nussmeier's not going to be able to do that. There's some holes defensively, discipline-wise. Like you go back to the Clemson game when they're blitzing, when guys are blitzing when they're not supposed to be blitzing. There's open guys that happen. There's opportunity there. It's just taking advantage of those opportunities. I got Florida doing it, being a wounded animal going into Death Valley. This Saturday night.
You sound like you watched the Florida USF game. You should have an AP vote.
Okay.
Atta boy. Wow. You ought to vote in the AP.
I was going through it. Taylor was like, hey, did you what? He was talking about how, which I agree with you, defense getting surprised when they end up scoring one of their touchdowns.
Well, you're taking my points I'm about to have, so.
Okay, sorry. But yes, I dove in. I'm
you
can
do those things and I'll just say who I'm taking after. But like, I also
I'm like, this team's fine. Like the world's burning right now. Florida is fine, but they just got to block out the noise. They have to focus on them. They have to take care of their football. And I like them getting spicy.
All right, here's the thing. So you asked me, do I like Napier? If I were to take you down to Florida, you hung out there for 72 hours, you would say, this place feels like it's run the right way. Really good people in the building. If he laid out his entire program psychology to you, you'd say, sounds like a winner to me. Like all of those boxes would get checked. No different than if we had a big Thanksgiving coming up and me and you were to go get all the ingredients, all the groceries we needed, kitchen's fully stocked. And then Thanksgiving comes and you look around and you say, who's going to cook? And no one knows how to cook. That's kind of the way Florida's been.
No chefs.
All of the preparation, all of the systems, all of the processes, all that is right. It's the same way as it is at Georgia. It's the same way as it is at Ohio State. The difference is you do all that stuff to give yourself an opportunity to win games in the fall. That's the entire purpose of it. But then when it comes time to win the games in the fall, the other guys do it. Georgia does it. Ohio State does it. Florida doesn't do it. Which begs the question, well, what's the point of it all? That's where the detachment comes a little bit with maybe Billy Napier and the way he's done things at Florida. Because I can't deny that, I fully believe in his mentality, but then the execution's not there. So history, logic, conventional wisdom would say they got a lot of good athletes. When good athletes get challenged, when their back's against the wall, when their manhood and their pride's questioned, and you got to go on the road, this is normally when you see a team at their best. So it's one of those classic either production versus potential type games. Because I think there's a lot of potential Florida has that hasn't shown itself in terms of production yet. Well, you either find out this week if that potential is real or not. It could just be imagined. It could be Lagway's not as dynamic as someone like me thought he was going to be. I thought he'd be the best quarterback in the conference. So I've been let down fantastically so far.
You're hurt.
This should be a game where line of scrimmage-wise, Florida has edges both ways. Should be. But if the potential is just potential, it's not really potential if it doesn't become production. So my initial feeling on Monday was yours, was this is a get-back game. And LSU, I don't know.
They got what, 8.5?
Yes.
7.5 points?
Sneakily, LSU looked like garbage last week. But yet, they're coming off the Clemson game. They know they got the Florida game on deck. It's Louisiana Tech. They're favored by 37.5. They scored 23, I think, total. I think LSU is still going to win the game. I do think Florida's going to cover anything over a touchdown. I do think it's going to be a dogfight of a game, but it's not a WWE event. Like, it's not written where automatically Florida, since they dropped one, this is just when they get back. That's happened a lot throughout history, but it happens a lot because maybe a team underachieved relative to what they're capable of, and they're just bouncing back to whatever the norm should be. But if we're wrong about what the norm should have been, or if I'm wrong about what the norm should have been, then you're not going to get that this week. And we're going to be less than a month into the season, and hot seat talk is going to be the number one topic of conversation. Really, it already is around Florida.
It is. Both teams.
But where are you going?
I'm going LSU win, Florida cover.
Okay, so you're taking Florida.
Yeah, taking Florida plus the points.
Line real quick.
I got a couple. Well, after Taylor goes, I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you look at both teams and how they played last week. Both teams, you could tell we're playing a big team the next week. The difference between LSU and Florida is Garrett Nussmeier goes down on the first drive, he throws a pick. There's no flinch, there's no we're in trouble. They just methodically go down the field over and over again, get chunks of 5 and 7, they move forward, they win, they score 23 points, and they just keep it pushing forward. Florida to me is like, it's the same thing you just said with all the ingredients. You have all the talent in the world to be successful in the SEC. What I look at when this school who, had to win against a Boise State team that we don't really know who they are. We knew who they were last year. We knew that they're kind of a name from the past that used to shake it up and get in that, that teen range of the top 25. But you go into Florida and it's like, it's the swamp. It's DJ Lagway, Billy Napier. He had that crazy 6-week run last year. But then you get into the third quarter. And at this point, if you're the Florida Gators, you know it's a dogfight. It is 6-9, and it was like 2nd and 8, they get to 3rd and 5. Well, the situational awareness by the defense, which is on the coaching staff, you have 13 guys on the field, 2 of them are trotting off while USF is going fast. And due to broken coverage, Keyshawn, number 10, whoever that is, they throw a bomb and they get that. Like, that shows me that even when you're now fully aware you've had halftime to make your adjustments, your team is still not prepared to be like, hey, we need to get out of this with a win. We know we have a big game next week, but like, this one's not given to us. USF is better than we thought. You have a Joe Moore, preseason Joe Moore winning offensive line who's getting pressure put on them by 4 guys of USF. Then you have all the things go your way. USF misses a kick. You guys have like 2 minutes and 34 seconds on the clock when USF has 2 timeouts. You have a 4-minute drill with a Joe Moore caliber offensive line, and you're unable to take a minute and a half off the clock. Like, there's still more than 2 minutes when they're punting that ball. Yes, there's penalties. Yes, there's all those things. But you couple...
The ball was there. You dropped the third eight ball right in the basket.
You couple those things together, and then you see the video of the USF coaching staff walking out, and they are elated, as they should be, so excited about what they just were able to do in Gainesville, Florida. And you look at the coaching staff in the background that are wearing the blue and orange, and it's not like a pissed off, like, we need to get back, we're going to be angry, all these things. It's the look of defeat to me. And I'll be taking LSU minus 7.5 in this game. You go to Death Valley. I'm sure Billy Napier's a great guy. When I look at situational ball with aliens that you have all the tools to be successful. DJ Lagway is supposed to be the guy. He wasn't the problem. He threw an interception. He rolls out to the right and then throws it across back to the middle of the field. They're in man coverage, and this kid makes a great interception. Like, it's like a little mess up, but for the most part, like, he threw the ball, he did well. I just think if you're Florida, dealing with what you dealt with last year, going into this year, you lose to USF, it's like, I think this is when the doubt truly starts to creep into the mind, and it might be a fold game for Florida.
So you were talking about Lagway, like, maybe could he not be up to the expectation? Like, if you watch that game, the ability, like, all of it is there. Like, the coaching part is the discipline with the penalties. that third down when USF scored, like those are things that those are coaching things that they have to hit home. But when it comes to making the plays themselves, like they are there. And Florida has the athletes. Like again, that D-line was there's missed tackles everywhere.
Yep.
There's a big missed tackle. It was either I think going into halftime where they like get a screen and he takes it all the way down the sideline. Like it's missed tackles. It's things to where as a player you're sitting there and you know we had this game in the bag. We messed up. There's going to be things coaching-wise that are going to nail into your head penalty-wise. You can't have those penalties. But Lagway looked good. Him on the move, getting out of sticky situations. They were running the ball well. I think Florida's going to bounce back. I don't think the world is on fire as much as it seems like on the outside. Just watching that game, USF did a good job. And again, I feel like the quarterback, his legs got him out of some situations to where he should be on the ground. Especially they shouldn't have gave him that field goal right before halftime. They had him twice in the backfield under pressure. But that was going to be my question is if you're watching that game, what makes you think that like they have the athletes? Like I don't feel like it was schematics or anything else. It's just making the plays. And if you feel like that potential is there, and there is that difference of potential in making those plays, but in my head, it's like as a player, you're sitting there, you're wanting those plays back. Not in like a doubtful, can I make these plays? It's like, I got to get that motherfucker to the ground. I have to catch this football. I got to make this play. I can't be getting a PI when we got them backed up. The place is rocking and they get away with it because you end up tugging on the receiver. Like to me, those things, like you clean those up, like they can be dangerous, and I like them just being dangerous because LSU's undefeated, and they have a few gaps, but it's a little different coaching when you're playing, when you're undefeated, and you're hitting those gaps or you're hitting those things you could get better at as a player, as opposed to, hey, you just lost a game, you shouldn't lose. These glaring mistakes that we made, they're hitting me a lot differently because we lost the game versus, hey, we won a couple games, these mistakes are there, but you're kind of joking about it in the meeting room. Oh, I did this, I kind of slipped here, yada, yada, yada. That's where I feel like it gets dangerous for this game for LSU hosting Florida.
Two things that you said that give me more concern about Florida is you talked about players being like, I've got to make this catch, I've got to make this block, I've got to make this tackle. When you don't have the success and there is this narrative around your head coach and not having your guys prepared to be successful on a Saturday, the I got to's don't turn into like optimistic pressure. It turns into pessimistic pressure. Like you start like squeezing the bird in your hand a little too tight and you're killing that bad boy. When you look at LSU, they're 2-0 for the first time since what, 2019?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. 5 week ones in a row, they lose. This defense is a little bit different. They've made big steps years 1, 2, and 3 with Brian Kelly. There is a certain level of like moxie and confidence that comes out of LSU that is now up to Brian Kelly to be like, hey, we have these guys on the ropes. Let's step on their throats. Because if you can get up on Florida in the first quarter, my brain's telling me that they fold.
I don't disagree with you. I don't even think it's competitively they fold. I just think they haven't shown any reason for me to believe that they'll dig out of a hole. Mm-hmm. The other thing about the USF game for people who didn't watch it is sometimes you get beat because the guy who's favored by, or a dog of 17.5 against you or something like that just plays the game of its life. Hair on fire, quarterback does stuff that's otherworldly. This was not that. You just mentioned it. Like 10 different opportunities where the game's just there for Florida. And it could have easily been one of those, man, we got by in this one, but we better clean it up next week or we're going down. That's what LSU did last week. See, what is failing to be realized about all this is they're angry at LSU too. You know, LSU, Brian Kelly threw his entire staff under the bus in his press conference last week after a win.
Classic BK. And
the other thing is you said, hey man, this defense is a little bit different. Defense is a lot different. Mm-hmm. So to go back to your point, yeah, you got to clean stuff up if you're Florida. Great. All right. Sounds good. It's a good headline. You have to do that on the road against far and away the best defense you've faced all year and maybe one of the best you'll face all year. And Blake Baker, unlike last year, actually has the guys to fit his system. That's why they shut Clemson down. That's why even last week, LSU looked terrible offensively. It didn't matter. You give up 7, it doesn't really matter. I just don't know. Like, can you go on the road, find a way to score 24? Can you scratch out 24 points? I don't know that they can. That's why I'm taking LSU to win.
You're taking LSU to win, but you're taking Florida to cover. So you're kind of out of both sides. You're kind of talking about it like Florida could fold here and get mopped. Like, can they put up 24? Yeah. But you're also picking Florida, so it's going to be somewhat of a dogfight in Death Valley.
I'm asking them, do they have the competitive confidence to win a close game? I'm doubting that they do. That's why I'm picking a close game, LSU to win, Florida to cover. So I'm kind of splitting that.
This
like
is
it's a
a
one-possession game. to me.
huge opportunity, too, for LSU to, like, hey, if you're going to have that national championship killer instinct, like, step on somebody's throat when they're down. This would be the opportunity against Florida because Florida is a good team.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, they have talent, but you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have somebody to wrangle everybody in and keep them moving forward towards the goal and understanding situational awareness, then you don't have a good team.
Yeah.
Like they have players.
Florida has to have this one because their schedule is crazy.
Crazy. And all year, when we're talking about how Florida's going to be nasty, the only downfall they have is their schedule. No one looked at USF and was like, man, we got to start off with that one.
Yep.
It's like, LSU was at the first one on their list.
Quick break. This episode is also brought to you by Form Energy. Form Energy delivers best-in-class taste with natural flavors and zero sugar. Form Energy has natural caffeine derived from green tea, and Form comes in a variety of flavors. You got Screamin' Freedom, Grape Smash, Blue Blitz, Orange Fury, perfect for those who put in the work. If you're a man who a core value of his is hard work, putting in the dog days, coming home, being a family-forward man, Form Energy is the product for you. Form Energy, we do the work. Back to the episode. We got Vanderbilt at South Carolina. South Carolina Gamecocks ranked 11 in the country. They are favored by 4.5. The line has moved a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were favored by 5.5. Now it's 4.5, kind of going a little bit toward Vandy. The over-under on this game is 48.5, boys. How are we seeing the field this week? This one scares me. I'll tell you why it scares me. Because I love JP Hovey. I love JP. I love the Gamecocks, but I also have this weird little soft spot for just the magic at Vanderbilt. So I'm nervous. I want to listen to you break this game down. I want to listen to you break this game down because I'm torn. I think it's a close game.
There's a safe bet here, and it's
The over?
No, it's the Josh Pate bulletproof move. Hey, I like South Carolina to win this game, but I got Vanderbilt covering.
4.5 gap though, so not over a touchdown.
I'm
This is
with
a pretty-
you, but
it's a pretty thin
that's
gap.
the way you
Tight
make
line.
everybody happy.
Yeah.
It's the way you make everybody, because if Vanderbilt does get the upset, what they can absolutely do, it's like, hey, I told you they'd cover. They ended up just winning. Should have bet the money line. And if they don't, it's like, hey, JP, you guys really do have a squad out there, man. I should have never gone against you guys. I knew you were going to put up more than that. But I was just blinded by Pavia and Cade.
Yeah.
Don't you think this is a blessing for South Carolina? All the noise, they go blow Virginia Tech out, not South Carolina, but by the way, it's week 3 and these guys already have a common opponent. They've both played Virginia Tech, which I don't think we've ever seen before. So you like this. You gotta love it. Shane Beamer's gotta love it. He speaks through you. You guys gotta love this.
Yeah,
I'm
the
taking
vessel.
Vanderbilt to win the game outright. I think they're gonna go over there and win the game.
Oh my God!
No way!
Listen to me.
It's not cocked
That was the
over
most
yet.
devious thing I've ever seen you do.
Listen to me.
The poor JP. He just got a fresh haircut. He just got a haircut. You're gonna
Now
do
he's
it, Dan?
walking off. Now he's walking away.
I don't want him to leave all the way.
No, he doesn't have to leave all the way.
Okay, it's okay
Can I
to
be
go
honest with
behind
you
me.
though? I don't disagree with you. Like,
But are you?
I don't disagree with you. Because it's like, yeah, South Carolina, you have all the aliens in the world on the offensive side of the ball, and the defense is a turnover machine, which might work in their favor because Diego Pavia is going to play hero ball.
Yep.
He's going to go out there, he's going to run around. He himself, as the runner he is going to neutralize the rushing threat that they have, and Stewart and the rest of those guys. But the offensive line, dude. I mean, Josiah Thomas, they already have so many question marks over there. He's hurt. You see them have a couple of issues. Vanderbilt likes to run games. They like to put blitzes in. They like to put offensive linemen in positions where, like, you have to know what's going to happen pre-snap in order for you to be successful. And you can have Sellers. You can have, was it Fasul? Yeah. You can have Neighbors. You can have all this talent in the world. But if you can't get the...
You haven't said one name right on our team. The people cannot trust you right now.
You're hurt because of Pate, and that's okay. You're right.
Both can be true.
I'm not
Both can be
good
true.
with names. I'm
There's
not
one
good with names,
person
and
hurt
that's
on here, and it's the person that was ducking the Oklahoma-Michigan smoke.
Jeez.
once again, like literally hurt people. Hey, hurt people. And I was gonna take South Carolina minus 5.5. No, I got Steve Gregory's defense making it a lot of trouble on the offensive line for South Carolina. And so I'm going to take Vanderbilt to cover this game. To cover.
Take money line.
JP, I understand what you're going through right now.
There's
If Josh
blood.
did that to me, I'd be hurt too.
There's blood on the ground.
Everywhere. It's a slaughter fest.
Yeah.
Step in.
That you were talking about it with South Carolina. and I was talking to JP about it yesterday. My big question mark with South Carolina is I don't fully know what they are on offense, because when you look at the Virginia Tech game, a lot of it is pre-snap stuff. It's not like offensive linemen are getting beat. They got free runners coming through the gaps, which it tells you that there's a lot of miscommunication going on. Then you look at last week, there's 3 touchdowns with between a pick 6 and 2 punt returns.
Yep.
So it's not like you're seeing them a whole lot offensively. So that to me, and there's something about just Diego Pavia.
Friend of the show.
Some magic, some little magic dust he has that you can't quite explain what it is, but he's got that. He's got this wrestling brain, this wrestler's mentality when he goes and takes the field to where they make it interesting. And after the game last week, when they mopped Virginia Tech in the second half, Cade McConnell, last week that was our Cade McConnell game.
Yep.
He's FaceTiming us on the stream, and they're live and they're up in the locker room. Like they have they just have the fun and the energy going on.
Yeah.
I'm taking the over. I'm taking the over.
God, dude. Listen, dude, you gotta stop. You gotta stop.
You are a sadistic person.
That's just crazy.
What we got? Vandy
I think Pavia thinks got better as a passer
Vandy
as well.
money line. I like the over because again, if that offense comes alive, Vanderbilt is going to score. So
that's
what?
a scared pick.
Why is that? It's a little scary pick, but I don't know what to do. So if I'm like, I can't let my emotion grab me with South
this
Carolina.
This is what happened when the heart and the brain conflict.
Yeah. I know.
You're doing,
Yeah.
Your heart and your brain is conflicted. You're looking over there, that sweet face, and you're like, man, I do not want to break his heart.
Totally.
That's your boy. JP knows what you're talking about.
I don't want to break his heart, but also they got Lenore Sellers, and they got the freaks on defense too. That's a defense that can chase around Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, does South Carolina win this game? Is it not close? Does the Vandy's offense not even get going? But I love their offense because I love Pavia. I love what they do. I love the magic. So I'm picking them both just to score. I'm picking Lenore Sellers. I'm picking all of them to score.
You know what
just
worries me?
Give me the over.
What worries me about your pick is if it goes South Carolina's way, I think a South Carolina win/over is more likely to be correlated. If Vandy wins this game, as much as there is talk about Pavia, which is for an obvious reason, have you looked at how big their offensive line is? Have you looked at Vandy's offensive line?
I've seen Cade face to face. He's a big boy.
Yeah, we got Cade McConnell on lock. We know how big he is everywhere.
It's not. Just let it breathe. Just let it breathe.
Let that one air out for a second, huh?
It's not a Vanderbilt offensive line. It's just not the way Vandy's supposed to look on the offensive line. They look like a legitimate SEC team on the offensive line. They went up to Virginia Tech and outgained them by 300 in the second half last week because they just leaned on them. Which you can say, oh, it's just Virginia Tech. Well, I mean, it was just Virginia Tech when South Carolina played them too. And they didn't lean on them like that. They didn't run it up on them like that. So the history is not always a perfect indication of the future, and I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying if Vandy is made to play catch up, it's going to be a South Carolina day. But if it's back and forth, one possession, or maybe Vandy even gets a little bit of a lead, they got opportunities to go 10, 12, 13 play drive on you because they did last week. And it just sucks the air out of a stadium. No one respects the cockpit more than me, especially at night. Night kickoff. 7:45. No one respects it.
They went to VTech.
Yeah,
night game.
They just don't care. They just don't care. So I think they're gonna.
Yeah.
So are you saying this could be an under game?
If I'm right, if Vandy wins, I think it's Vandy under. If South Carolina wins, I think it's more likely to be South Carolina over. Which begs the question: who do you think's actually going to win?
Yeah, Taylor, I respect you more for your pick than Will for his.
That's a quick 180.
That's water off the back for your boy.
I
still got to pick these games.
He is just trying to hurt somebody.
I got a job to do. I'm trying to make some money here, which, you look at 4-1 last week. I've been in the lab.
I think I'd go under if I had to pick the total. At 48.5, I think I'd go under if I had to pick the total.
You're weirdly starting to talk me into the under.
But that's
yeah,
only
but if
you're
talking about seeing the board clearly and making money, you don't want to take a team, you're taking the over, but now you're getting talked into the under.
I know.
Like I'm seeing the board clear. It's like, are you?
I didn't say I'm seeing the board clearly.
I don't know which way to go.
I don't know who you're looking for. Ain't nobody going to save you out there. Ain't nobody saving you out there.
I believe the exact quote was, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. I'm seeing the board clearly. Clearly, I don't know.
This could be for everybody watching, this could be a game time decision. You're just going to have to follow @_Will Compton.
Take my advice.
This could be a game time decision.
Take my advice.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right, let's get out of JP's head for a second. Let's get to the next game. Number 18, South Florida at Miami. How do we feel, Will Compton? Pass.
No,
Over, but maybe the under.
yesterday, this is one that was keeping me up. This is a game that was keeping me up. South Florida was keeping me up because I was having this analogy yesterday of you feel like you're at the craps table. Is this when you just get out? Is this when you stop hitting the pass line? When all the energy's there? It's like South Florida's proved us wrong a couple times now. You were on them
Yep.
the opening week with Boise.
Been
And
on
they
them 2
blew-
weeks.
Yeah, been on them 2 weeks.
yeah.
But you saw the board before everybody else saw the board with South Florida. You're talking if they had on Alabama's uniform, this could be the number 1 team in the country.
I'm right.
Just standing on the table for them, which I respect and I appreciate.
I'm right.
And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, are we playing craps or are we playing hold'em? Where you got to know when to fold them.
Yep.
And this is a situation when I think back to Miami against Notre Dame and Carson Beck, the way he can sling the rock, the poise that he's showing. He has receivers, that one-handed freak, that little number 10 Tyreek Hill runner. What's his
Malachi
name?
Tony.
Malachi Tony. And I just think,
Said that right.
I think this is where a 17.5 gets covered on South Florida. I think this is where you got to fold the cards. You got to sell your stock high with USF, and you take Miami to cover this game because they have the athletes, they have the freaks, and this is I'm out.
Seems a little disrespectful.
I know.
It does seem disrespectful, but there's again, we talk about the Florida game. There's a reason. If South Florida was truly about that magic, Vegas would know it too. This game would be sitting here at 17.5 points up for a second week in a row.
Yeah, but last week's game was 17.5.
Exactly.
I'm just
They're
saying.
doing it to South Florida again. And if you watch that game, Florida had every opportunity to whoop that team. And you're telling me if you're believing in the staff and the personnel and the players and the philosophy with Crystal Ball in Miami, that's what's going to happen to South Florida this week.
I'm just saying, man, Miami, they've had opportunities to beat Virginia Tech last year, and it took a Hail Mary. They had to go out to Cal and come back from 3 scores down. This is a team that got beat by Georgia Tech last year, up by 3 scores on Syracuse. Syracuse comes back to beat them. Just not been a team that runs it up on people. Having said that, I completely agree with you. Miami's going to win this game and cover. They will pull away. This is the one. This is the one.
All right,
You guys don't worry about a backdoor cover at all.
No, I'm not. It's the antithesis of last week. I mean, I was telling you, hey, Florida could get up big here, and then South Florida backdoors it. That's the way they could cover, or they could just beat them. You know, that's another
Straight
way.
up,
That's
yeah.
another way they could cover. I was hoping this line would be like 11. That's what I thought it would open at. Because I was going to hammer Miami, and they opened it. FanDuel, they opened it 17 and a half, and I said, I still think Miami's going to win. Anything under 20, I would take Miami to cover, but I'm not actually going to bet it as one of my best bets because I think they did put a good number on this, and I think there are a lot of folks are going to go 17 and a half. South Florida, I think a lot of folks are going to gobble South Florida up. I just think if you look at the history of college football, all right, there's something called a do-down week, which is obviously just a letdown spot anytime after you've had a big game. The double do-down, that's when I want to bet against an inferior roster. And talent-wise, USF's an inferior roster to Miami, and they've had back-to-back A to A-plus performance weeks, and now they got to go on the road again. So second leg of a back-to-back road stretch, inferior roster, double do-down spot. You've got Miami's attention. You will not sneak up on them because you've got a number next to your name. It's all the ingredients. Not to mention Carson Beck. You mentioned him. What Carson Beck's also comfortable doing is taking exactly what you give him. He doesn't have to hit home run balls. He'll just dink and dunk you to death if that's what you want to give him. I expect that's what South Florida will give him. They'll look at it. Alex Golesh will know, I'm not going to out-roster these dudes. I got deficiencies both lines of scrimmage compared to them. I've just got to hope we can umbrella them, and then we can make something happen in the red zone. And give it to him between the 20s. Yeah. I think Miami's going to find a way to pull away. Disrespectfully.
Are you saying not so fast?
No, I'm not. I mean, all the points you're making, I agree with. I see Miami absolutely covering this. The number next to the name changes the game. I think USF, I was very disrespectful to them about their offensive line and their defensive line last week against Florida. Obviously, I was wrong in that situation. They played an unproven Boise State team. They played an unproven Florida team. And I think Miami is the most battle-tested. They had a big game, Catholics versus convicts, a classic rivalry reignited. And Carson Beck is showing that he might have not been the problem at Georgia. Maybe it was Georgia that was the problem for Carson Beck. And so I like Miami covering this game as well. You talk about the casino and all that, and it's like, I've been in so many situations where I walk up on a baccarat table and I see that little red line kind of going down. I'm like, is it going to break right? Is it going to break right? And give me a nice little lawn chair on the baccarat table. And then I put my money in it, and once you know it, that motherfucker goes player right away. And so being able to sit back here, not making a quick, decision, it's like Miami understands what they're up against. Everybody on the schedule looked at USF and never thought to themselves, dogfight. Miami gets the opportunity by seeing the last two games by being like, this could be a dogfight. We're preparing for this game as if we're playing, Alabama or whoever.
Yeah.
So I like Miami. I
I
Miami
like your
cover.
thought too. You're not going to sneak up on them.
Yeah.
You're not going to sneak up on Miami because if you're the casual fan, which I was on South Florida up until I watched that South Florida game yesterday, if you're the casual fan, you're obviously the noise is there, the highlight tapes, everything coming out of South Florida. You talking about how they could be ranked a top 10 team. Yeah, if you switch their uniform, like if you're just listening to that stuff and you open the FanDuel app and you see South Florida plus 17.5 on Miami, you are jumping on that.
Yep.
But having watched that game, it's like, okay, I can see why they're still at 17.5 point underdogs.
Let me tell people, so if you're watching right now, if you heard me make the case for Miami, it sounds like I'm really convicted in that. You may be thinking, well, why aren't you just going to bet it? Like, why aren't you dumping money on that? Miami's played down to competition too often under Cristobal for me to blindly trust them to pull away. And also, Alex Golesh has made a young career at USF of making these games fourth quarter games. Did it last week, obviously. He's done it twice against Bama. They build their entire program around being competitive in these spots. Everybody on that roster wants a spot at a bigger program. One of the trends, by the way, in the portal era that we're seeing is you're getting sort of what I call one-off performances from a lot of the G5 roster guys. And that is, they know that in portal season, Miami's going to turn on one or two tapes for USF kids, the Florida game and the Miami game. Mm-hmm. And just like ULM, they know if they play LSU, if they play Texas, that's the game that a bunch of P4 coaches are going to turn on. They don't care what you did against comparable opponents because you're playing G5 competition. So because of those reasons, I'm not just pouring money on this game, but we do have to pick it. So I do slightly think Miami's the right side.
Quick break because we are brought to you by Michelob Ultra, a superior light beer. The delicious taste of victory deserves something equally superior. Cheer on your team with Michelob Ultra at 2.6, gentlemen. Listen to me, 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's a superior, smooth taste worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer. We got number 16, Texas A&M, going out to South Bend, Indiana, facing Notre Dame, ranked 8th in the country. Notre Dame is favored at 6.5 right now on FanDuel. The over-under on this game is 49.5. To me, this feels like a must-win game for Notre Dame.
You think so?
I think so.
Do you think that there's a world where a 10-2 Notre Dame is left out of the playoff?
No.
I agree with you, but
you'd have to show me the rest of their schedule because right now you drop to Miami, you drop to A&M, you start off 0-2, and you rattle off the rest of the wins. Again, not knowing exactly who's on the schedule, but you have to pray that teams you end up beating later in the year are like highly ranked opponents or have enough respect for you to get in the playoff.
Or pray that A&M and Miami are the teams. They beat you, but they also beat everybody else as well.
Right, because what if you got 10-2 Miami, 10-2 Texas A&M? What if you got a 3-loss A&M or Miami team and you see the performance that they put on Notre Dame in week 1? If they're going to count that, to me, this is truly a must-win. It's a must-win. This is an asshole tight. The offensive line, what you thought was going to be the spots that you're going to lean on to win the game against Miami. You were leaning on more CJ Carr than you were the offensive line and Jeremiah Love. You weren't even giving him touches.
Yep.
You weren't even giving him a whole lot of touches.
Yeah.
And then defensively, Miami's throwing it all over you. Your strength is that secondary in the back end. A&M's going to come with a game plan, but this to me, Freeman, all those boys in my opinion are going to be rolling. I think this is where you give Jeremiah Love the ball 50 different times, 50 different ways if you can.
Yeah.
And you challenge that offensive line. Because CJ Carr, I think he's gonna be a good player. I think he's gonna be poised. He's gonna be in South Bend. To me, you have to win in the running game because it's gonna open up everything else. I like Notre Dame in this game. I also like them to cover against A&M.
I like what you said about CJ Carr. When they started the game against Miami, it seemed like Marcus Freeman was in a position where it's like, hey, let's get some high percentage throws out for CJ Carr. Let's get him comfortable, and then we'll start utilizing Jeremiah Love.
Right. He was the question mark.
Right, yeah. Jeremiah Love, the aspect of him in the run game never actually ended up coming. And I think that's because Miami, and what we're seeing in college now is when these teams are going out and grabbing a bunch of guys in the transfer portal, it's like, how fast can they gel? It seems to me, based on the sample size of this year, people are gelling extremely fast. And then I have the in my brain, the last 2-minute drill of CJ Carr getting absolutely trampled by both of those DNs against Miami. And so it's like, can this offensive line handle Cassius Howell, who had 3 sacks in 3 plays, just like Myles Garrett had 3 sacks in 3 plays, like A&M has like a squad that for whatever reason they put out defensive ends every single year. Rumors are going around about, are they linebacker U? But I think at the end of the day, it's like, you walk away from the Miami game and you think, if I start the first half or the way we had the second half game plan adjustments, maybe we're saying a little bit different about Miami's now one-loss team and Notre Dame's undefeated. Because I think CJ Carr is a guy. I like Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame at home. And I like Notre Dame covering.
So we saw your guy, Bryce Underwood, go on the road last week. Sort of his first indoctrination against Brent Venables didn't go well. We're going to see Joey Aguilar, Tennessee, this week have to face Kirby Smart. All right, CJ Carr's already had that moment. You just said it. He had it against Miami. And then there's a weird schedule thing with Notre Dame where they played Miami, then they had a bye week. So this is only Notre Dame's second game. So we got the wounded animal mode theory, possible must-win mode. Certainly, I guarantee you they feel that way. We've got an offensive line that was embarrassed in week 1, yet should be the strength of that team. We've got a quarterback that I really think CJ Carr can be trusted. And they've got good receiver talent, but it's all going to be predicated on the ground game that underachieved. There's just so many things. Kind of like we were talking about with Florida LSU. There's so many things where because it happened this way a couple of weeks ago, it really should bounce back. The table's set to bounce back. The one thing that worries me is, kind of like I said with Florida LSU, I think Notre Dame's offensive line should bounce back. But I also think they may just so happen to be facing the best 2 fronts they'll see all year in their first 2 games. And so there's a world where if they don't run the ball effectively on early downs here, there's a world where A&M's got guys who can wreck you as well. And A&M's got guys who can force turnovers as well. You were -2 turnovers against Miami, in part because of that. But the beauty of A&M and the beauty of playing this game this early in the season is, A&M made it an entire point to formulate an offensive identity that's pretty much Notre Dame's. They got 3 tailbacks. They got an offensive line they think could be the best in the country. They want to bowling ball you to death. They trust that Marcel Reed can stretch the field vertically just 1 or 2 times a game, but enough to where you got to respect the deep ball. It opens up the box a little bit. We can move the ball on you as well. It's so beautiful that these 2 teams with the same ethos face each other early in the season. I told myself before I looked at the line, anything above 4, I'm going to take points-wise. So they're giving me 6.5 here. So I'm taking Texas A&M plus 6.5. But I agree with you, it's a must-win for Notre Dame because there's a world where the rest of their schedule does not cooperate, and you're looking and you're saying, kind of like Indiana last year, where's the quality win? Like, where's the win they hang their hat on? Now, at that point, you may still say, oh, that Notre Dame brand will push them over the finish line. And that could be right. But at this point, if they lose this game, their fate's not in their own hands anymore.
I think from a player perspective too, you lose a game in a way to where you feel like you're embarrassed from that game and you have a bye week after that. There is such a sense of urgency. It's like you want to play the game, the next game as fast as possible.
Right.
Take you back to 2012. Willie C. in Nebraska. We started off the season 2-2. We went into Ohio State and we got our ass whooped. We got embarrassed. We were ranked. We held, I think it was Braxton Miller at the time. In the first quarter, it's like you couldn't have put up better stats defensively and as Nebraska was playing, but then we get mopped. And that next week, we had a bye week. And the conversation that Bo's coming into the team meeting room with, the urgency that he has, like, I got nothing for you. If you guys want to play in the Big Ten championship game, we're going to have to win out. There are no mishaps. There are no mistakes that we can make. We got to correct this shit in this bye week, which it was a hell of a bye week, one that I hope any player doesn't have to go through. But one that you're begging to play the next week because you want to get the taste out of your mouth so badly because the world outside of the building, it's on fire. where everybody's talking shit on you. You want that taste out of your mouth. We go on and win the rest of the year. We go to the Big Ten Championship. We get mopped in the Big Ten Championship. However, that feeling as a player, I feel like Notre Dame is feeling that. I feel like everybody in that building is aware that we have, if you guys want to control your destiny and leave it out of the pickers out there, the college football committee, Josh Pate on his Pate State show, we have to win this football game. And I think every player knows it, and I think they'll play with that urgency. That's why I love the spot that they're sitting at. I hate that they lost the way they did because I picked them against Miami, but I just feel like that's what's brewing in South Bend.
Yeah, just to double down on that, when it comes to the offensive line, they're having that feeling more than anybody because when you put on the gold helmet, it's like that's your offensive line, you. And as a guy who played at Michigan, who went to Michigan largely because of a guy named Jake Long, when you're not holding up the standard in your brain and you go through a bye week situation, it's like that is exactly the feeling. It's like, how do I basically time travel into this next game so I can just show everybody that they're wrong about whatever delusion I have about people saying whatever it is. Like they could be saying, maybe Taylor's not that great. And it's like, I have to show everybody at this moment. And those two tackles are feeling that way. Joel, Quentin Nelson, Zach Martin, these guys that have played there, and they're like, hey, this is, there's a massive standard that's upheld when you put the gold helmet on and you're an offensive lineman. Like that means a lot in South Bend, Indiana.
And fortunately, it's not like an Ohio State or one of these best teams in the country. It's A&M. And they have a good roster. Like they have a
great defensive line.
Yeah, they have a good football team. As an offensive lineman,
you're like, good.
Yep.
Excellent.
Right.
You want
but
that's the mentality they have.
It's a team coming in that you're just like you're worried about who you're playing against, but also you want this next game so badly because you're so embarrassed about the performance you put on tape from week one.
I think this is also where you really find out about A&M's defense because at the end of last year, that's what let them down. And Mike Elko, whoever they played in the bowl game, he just takes the stage. He's as emphatic as you will ever hear him. He said, I don't know what we'll do next year, but if we lose, it will not be because of defense. And so he basically handed the keys to the offense to Colin Klein and said, do your thing. Like, I'm with defense.
Yeah.
And I think he took over play calling. And so like they think they're that kind of team that can be aware of all that, go in someone else's building, and still sort of dictate terms to them.
Elko said it, and
they're at home. Like Notre Dame's at home. They're about to come into your house.
Recipe's good for Notre Dame.
Elko said it yesterday in his press conference. He said there's like two teams that have this same idea of what they want to be, and we both believe we are that team. We're going to find out when we go up to South Bend.
Beautiful.
And that fires me up. Is this?
This is.
Is it time?
True Classic Game of the Week.
Do we want to get one of the Tennessee boys up there just to how they feel about the game?
This episode is brought to you by True Classic, the new curved Pima shirts. They make you look incredible. I rock the whites. Taylor rocks the blacks. They got them in a variety of colors. Your boy's rocking the pants right here. I know we're not shouting out the pants. We're more so shouting out the shirts. But these pants that I'm rocking, True Classic, very flexible, a lot of elasticity. It's a 5-syllable word. You can find True Classic at Amazon and Costco, Sam's Club, and Target nationwide, or online at trueclassic.com/bussin. Look good, feel good, play good. Back to this episode. Listen.
Chef or Jack, if you guys want to walk up and say something.
I don't know if you can give the mic to Chef. This show will be 2 hours long. We give the mic to Chef.
Jack wants Chef to have the mic. I don't disagree with him. I mean, this is number 6 Georgia in Neyland at number 15 Tennessee. Gunnar Stockton takes on Joey Aguilar. Joey Aguilar, the savior of Tennessee. Heupel keeping the culture alive. Chef, what are you thinking?
And every Saturday's got games, but only one fits just right. This is the True Classic Game of the Week, presented by True Classic.
Which I'm wearing right now, by the way. Uniform.
Dude, these are True Classic pants. I just got my order in, and nice.
They look nice.
You see the stretch?
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
You can run from
It
the
is
police
comfortable.
store.
And then you got like it's kind of like business casual in the back. The cheeks are popping a little bit.
It is amazing.
Very comfortable.
That's
wide.
God-given, though, those cheeks.
And again, it's not one of those situations where you sit down and it pulls up because they're tight. Like, it's got some great elasticity.
He fit it in. He fit it in.
Yes, I'm up. Okay, I better pop into the show.
Well, if you think about elasticity, that's 5.
Yeah.
That's 5 syllables.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
People said it couldn't be done.
There's a lot of people
Haters said it couldn't be done.
I'm glad you guys got it done.
Sick right now.
Chef,
Yes.
how do we feel?
Feeling good. It's been 8 long years of losing to Georgia. 8 horrible years.
13 out of the last 15.
13 out of the last 15. It's been a rough run for Tennessee. We've gotten the monkey off the back when Saban was there with Bama. We've gotten the monkey off our back with Florida. Georgia is the last on the list.
Last piece of the puzzle.
I think that this game will come down to, can we beat out man coverage and get a light box? Kirby Smart, I know people were saying, hey, they didn't look good they do this every year. They look bad for a little bit. Kirby gets them ready to go. They're going to be fired up. The one thing that gives me a lot of hope is that this is the first time that we've been really competitive and we have them in Knoxville for a big game. Aguilar year, we maybe thought, but by then it's end of the year. We know that we're not competitive. Heupel's first year, every time we've had to play him where I feel like we have a good team, we have to go to Athens at 7 o'clock. So I'm fired up.
Thank you, Chef. Well said.
Do you want me to add one ingredient to the pot?
Go ahead.
Okay. I don't want you to read the name. This text just came in. I didn't plan this. This is from a scout, though. Can you read what that says?
Felt the need to text this to someone. I don't think Georgia's a playoff team.
All right. So, streets are talking. The line's talking. This thing dropped all the way to 3.5. Thing dropped off a cliff. It takes some money.
Yeah. Where did it start at? 6.5, 7.5?
7.5.
Hey, what are you thinking?
All right. I've been at this game several times. Several times. I was at the last 2 games in Neyland when Tennessee beat Bama. So I've seen them turn a cannot into a have-not. I don't really believe in cannot. Tennessee cannot. Tennessee has not beaten Georgia and Kirby Smart in a long time. Like, they're kids who are about to grow facial hair, who have not seen Tennessee beat Georgia. But that's okay. It's a 9-year-old kid. It's like Danny Almonte, 9-year-old. But still, that kid's going to grow facial hair. What they haven't been able to do, they haven't been able to stretch the field. Tennessee cannot throw the ball down the field on Georgia, and also haven't been able to run the ball all that effectively.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things where you kind of say it in your head, all right, well, we couldn't throw the ball deep. We couldn't run the ball. Well, that's not really a formula you hear most of the time when someone wins, unless they special teams you and defense you to death. Joey's just got to hit one early. You've got to do some stuff you haven't done. To get the result you haven't gotten, you got to do some stuff against Kirby that you haven't done. And for all the talk about how Tennessee hasn't played anyone and they haven't faced this level of competition, neither has Georgia. Georgia as a program is very proven. They're very proven. Kirby, I blindly trust him in these spots. And my default is Georgia in this game. So when I dive in, I got to find something in Tennessee that talks me off of Georgia. But Georgia looked bad last week, and you're right. Georgia's looked bad dozens of times before, and then you realize, oh, that didn't really mean anything when you watch them win 30-10 in their season opener against quality competition. So I keep waiting for Tennessee to do this. I think they've got a solid shot. I'm going to the game. I want to be there if it happens. But there is no bright, blinking red light that just tells me that's the thing that's going to push Tennessee over the finish line. And until I see that, my whole philosophy on this game, I don't have a terribly strong feeling on it, but my philosophy on the game is if I'm proven wrong, I'm going to be proven wrong by Kirby Smart not coming through in a game that he's owned, instead of sitting there again at the end of the day saying, why did I bet against Kirby Smart? So I'm going to take Georgia to win and cover.
That was a poetic way to take a 9-inch blade and put it right in Chef's side.
To spit in Jack and Chef's
and
face.
beautifully just talk about
He just went
Tennessee,
Jalen Carter.
and they could do
on
it.
these
Yeah,
boys.
he just Jalen Carter. Dak Prescott.
Do you remember anything about this game last year?
No.
All right. It was
an ass whooping.
it was maybe the hardest hitting game I saw all year. 2 misnomers about Tennessee is they can't match physicality. That's a lie. They absolutely can match physicality. And that they don't, for some reason, people think they don't run the ball, which is also a lie. The differentiating stat last year was Carson Beck took this game over, and Georgia was an 11-1 edge on passes of 15 plus yards. They don't have Carson Beck anymore. And I think it's unfair to expect Gunnar Stockton to take this game over. So the big key to me, like where I'll be wrong, is if Tennessee can hit them. Because Tennessee got up 10-0 in this game last year. If they can get up 10-0 again, you don't have Carson Beck to just sling the ball around on you. Like Carson Beck was very, very maligned last year. This game was the game of his year. So if you just keep that same game script, just force the other guy to play at that caliber, Georgia will turn the ball over and you can win. I just don't know if I trust
Do you think that Kirby Smart is kind of keeping a vanilla playbook because the first 2 games he played were against nobodies, and Gunnar Stockton, everybody and their mother on the Georgia Bulldogs website, MGO Blue, whatever Michigan's is, whatever yours was for Nebraska.
Yeah.
They're sitting there and saying like, hey, This is Kirby Smart 101.
You remember what Mateer did last week? Mateer ran the ball, I don't know how many times, like 19 times.
This is the third time you brought it up on the show.
They have not, someone had to bring it up.
Yeah.
Gunnar Stockton hadn't run the ball at all. I think he'll run the ball like 10 to 15 times in this game. Mike Bobo also gets as ripped to pieces by his own fan base as any coordinator in America. Mike Bobo kind of cooked Tim Banks in this game last year. So yes, I do think there's a lot they've bottled up. I could make the theory, I could present the theory Tennessee's getting Georgia at the right time. You want to get them early before they figure things out, but also I can make the theory Georgia gets Tennessee at the right time because they hadn't shown anything offensively yet.
Willie?
To me, this is a Kirby Smart league speech game. I think
with or without the expletives beeped, though.
Without an actual leak.
Yes.
Well, very much more
authentic, raw leak.
Yeah. Feels like a true leak.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because again, you look at you guys capped it off with the last 13 out of 15. The last 3 times they've been at Neyland, they've covered the spread easily. Kirby Smart has walked in their living room, not taking his shoes off, put his feet wherever he wanted to, used anybody's bed. He has owned Neyland Stadium. And you talk about Gunnar Stockton. It's like I'm sitting here reading the articles like in their local media about the receivers talking about Gunnar Stockton. And if you watch them against Austin Peay, like that game, it was close or not Georgia-esque for a second, but you go out on the very first opening drive, you turn the ball over. You fumble the ball. On the second drive in the second half, you fumble the ball again and turn it over. Like this is you're able to light a match under everybody's ass if you're Kirby Smart because Georgia's a good team. And I think there's going to be a good coming out party for their wide receiver room. You look at Branch, who they had transfer over from USC, former 5-star. They got a 6'4 guy, 6'5 guy out on the outside. You need Gunnar Stockton to sling it a lot more because you're right. You talk about 15 plus yards or the over 15 yards throwing with Carson Beck last year. 73% of throws for Gunnar Stockton have been 9 yards or less.
Yep.
A lot of them behind the line of scrimmage, a lot of them underneath.
Right.
If you're watching these games, routes are there. He's just got to cut it loose. And if you listen to the receivers talk about him and coaches talk about him, to them it's just a full, hey, bro, we see you do this in practice all the time. He's got a hell of an arm. Wide receivers talking him up highly. He just got to sling the rock.
Right.
I think he does that this game. I think their running game is really good. They have two good running backs in Frazier and Bowens. I like Georgia, man. I like Georgia to cover -3.5. Jack loves it. Maybe this is exactly what Tennessee wants. I would love to say
what
GBO.
Happened to GBO after GBO?
I know. But again, if I'm going to be an unbiased media journalist guy up here and try to call it how I see it, like Georgia's going to come in pissed off because Kirby's just going to challenge the piss out of everybody on that roster for that performance with Austin Peay. In the goal line stand Austin Peay had last week against Georgia, it's a get your piss hot game.
Yeah, that wide receiver core, specifically against the star position in Tennessee's defense. I think that's a matchup Georgia likes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobo, the offensive coordinator for Georgia, a lot of people picking him apart because he goes east and west too much, right? He likes to do the little bubble screens and high percentage throws and let his athletes be athletes on the perimeter. Listen, I thought you would for sure go Tennessee. And I look back at, I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I look back at what my boys in Orange had to go through this offseason. Nico wants more money. Nico, you're not that good. You're at UCLA and you just lost to UNLV.
Yeah.
He ends up leaving. They do a trade with UCLA. Joey Aguilar gets a gift and he walks into Knoxville, Tennessee. And every quarterback that's walked into Tennessee since the great Peyton Manning, everyone's like, we need that back. We want that opportunity back. Joey Aguilar might be the first quarterback to walk into Tennessee, and regardless of what happens this year, people are going to clap and love him because he was there in their time of need when Nico dipped him and walked out the door, went to go get a carton of some milk and a carton of cigarettes, and never came back. Then all of a sudden, they play Syracuse. And then I don't even know who you guys played last week, but like people are starting to look at Joey Aguilar and be like, hey, maybe this guy is actually better for our offense and Heupel and the tempo that he wants to go with than Nico is even.
Yeah,
he can sling it. He can rip it all the way down the field. You can feel the Volunteer fans once again in September getting horny about their football season when all seem lost in April. You know who else gets horny?
Me.
Yeah, and those camp counselors in Friday the 13th. The Georgia Bulldogs are Jason Voorhees. What they want to do is they want to get you into a mud fight. They want to grab you by the hair while you're half naked getting horned up with your girl and drag you into the water and let those bubbles stop and move on to the next one by one, over and over again for 60 minutes. That's what Georgia wants to be. That's what they think they can do in Knoxville, Tennessee. But you know what happens at the end of every one of those Friday the 13th movies? Jason Voorhees gets his fucking head cut off. And the camp counselors end up winning that game. I like Tennessee.
Boy,
I like Tennessee to cover. I like Tennessee money line in this game.
Mentally, I'm naked in my head right now, drowning in the water.
I like Knoxville finally getting over the hump. They've got two pieces. They got two Horcruxes. Let's get that third right now. I like Tennessee.
I didn't know where that was going.
Right, that's the point. That's the point of telling the story. That's the point of telling the story. You had fun with that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm just imagining nudity and
Yeah,
I'm
well,
drowning
it's
in
Friday
the
the
water.
13th. Friday the 13th is essentially Halloween, but like X-rated. Like they're like, oh, well, we like all the things they do with Michael Myers. Let's make it more gory and more boobs.
Yeah.
That's essentially what Friday the 13th is.
Who knew it would work? The thing you said about Joey is if the thing it takes to beat Kirby is the same thing it took to beat Saban. Precision passing. You got to be able to hit big plays down the field. There's really no defending that. If you can do that, well, there is defending it. If you can't defend it, then the whole game opens up and you put 35 on them. You put them in a very uncomfortable position in the fourth quarter. That's why I don't have a strong feel on the game, because you may be right. Like Aguilar may just be that guy and we never even knew it, and the Heupel system was like a puzzle piece for him. If just that thing is true, Tennessee will win the game Saturday. I have to be proven wrong by seeing that happen against Kirby Smart. That's the only thing I'm saying. But if it does happen.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, bulletproof.
Bulletproof insurance policy.
Listen,
right there.
Tennessee, you guys won. I'm going to be so happy. I just got to see it.
That's a goalpost in the river moment.
I'll be happy too,
9
but I'll
years in
also
a
be
row.
with you standing arm in arm.
Yeah,
Arm in
to
arm.
me, it comes down to, and you said it earlier, like you're going to have to start fast. You're going to have to hit big plays downfield because Tennessee wants to run the ball.
Just
they,
one.
Yeah,
Just
they
hit
spread it
one.
outside and try to throw it outside the numbers, and they try to out-athlete you. To me, Georgia's got the better line of scrimmage. They got the better athletes. So it is. Tennessee's just going to have to make big plays to win this game. They're not going to just foundationally beat Georgia. So if I'm sitting there looking at this is 3.5 points, if I'm going Tennessee and I'm just relying on big plays to happen for Tennessee, like to me, it's like that's where you got to go Georgia. That's why I like Georgia in this game.
One thing. Say what? Georgia's gonna win, so that's what's gonna happen. But in the off chance Tennessee does win, Vol Nation, this is a call to arms. We are not rushing the field.
That's a classy
We are
move.
not rushing the field. We have grown as a program. We rushed the field against Alabama last year. We're not going to rush the field. It's going to be a good game, but man, those Georgia Bulldogs are pretty good. So
I think they play that actually
Great
on the
reverse
loudspeaker.
psychology. Yeah, great. Yeah.
I think you
Your
play it
attention,
mid-fourth
please.
quarter.
In the event of a thunderstorm, these are the places you go. Also, Georgia will win this game.
2-minute drive
But
coming
if
up.
we somehow win,
If they don't get it done here,
if they
stay
don't
off
get
the
it done
field.
here, thank you for your time. I'm Mike Keith, voice of the balls.
Smart.
Weekly parlay or dog of the week? Which one do you want to hit, Clumpy? Dog of the week. Where's my dog of the week?
That's a great question.
I don't see my dogs of the week sitting
Where's
up
my
here.
dog of the
I
week?
think I know mine.
Where's my dog of the week card?
The Bussin With The Boys Parlay, if you don't already know, the boys have a 50% profit boost token available every college football Saturday. That's a 50% boost on any college football Saturday bet. Just open up the FanDuel Sportsbook app this Saturday and look out for the Bussin With The Boys profit boost token. Back to the episode.
I think mine's Arizona.
Arizona versus Kansas.
Yeah, mine's Arizona versus Kansas State for the reason.
But it's like a 1.5 spread.
I know it is. It did become a pick 'em. I was laying in bed last night at 10:30 and Clump hit me. It kind of
no way.
sucks that I had to go down that route.
It's like a 1 point
But
spread.
you're a school that pays a military school $1.4 million to come and beat your ass. That program's dead. Avery Johnson, love him to death. I'm sure he's got a great family life with his. They love to box between games. But give me Arizona.
Yeah.
Tucson, Arizona.
I'm going to take Oregon State plus 23.5 at Texas Tech. Texas Tech has game of the year next week. They play at Utah. That's probably the two best teams in the Big 12 right now. Everyone knows it's coming up next week. They just got to get out of this one alive. I think Oregon State plus 23.5. That's my favorite.
How disgusting was Arizona State's 0 against Mississippi
It
State
was
for them
bad.
to go in?
It was bad. It was bad.
You're not going to learn from your
No.
mistakes? Disgusting. William?
I like.
He forgot.
No, I didn't forget. It's New Mexico Lobos plus 15.5 against UCLA. UCLA's favored by a team by 15.5 points.
You go and stomp that down right now.
I'm stomping that one down.
That's my
I like
favorite
New
pick of the
Mexico.
week.
That's your favorite pick of the
Yeah.
week? I tell you what, hey, you saw it. I mean, Army, our country,
Yeah.
last week against Kansas State.
We're getting stronger and
We've
stronger. than
never
ever.
been more back than we are right now.
Never been more back. My Big 12 team, I picked K-State. They're dead.
Dead.
Part of me, like, I love your Arizona State. It's like, just pick any game against Kansas State right now.
Yeah.
It's like your whole take on Georgia. Like, you got to show me before I go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's like, Kansas, you've shown me you suck.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not good.
And I hate the fact that it's only one because, I mean, you can have it whatever it is. Arizona's winning that game.
Great. Our parlay, our weekly parlay. I'll start it off. I like Missouri minus 27.5 against Louisiana. Missouri's a tough football team. How about Missouri against Kansas last week, Josh Pate?
Yeah, I'm going
Where you
to.
should have took. Listen, I had the over in that game, and that hit by like halftime. And then at halftime, I'm watching the flow of this game, so I just throw in a live bet. Open up FanDuel, throw in a live bet. Mizzou's going to win this game. It was minus 5.5 at the time. Hit that one as well.
Yeah.
They look good.
So my dog of the week is actually Georgia Tech beating Clemson outright because my parlay pick is Oregon State plus 23.5.
That's what confused me there for a
Nice.
second. That's why I was kind of staring for a minute. I'm
Nice.
I don't want to just skip over that. That's Clemson losing at Georgia Tech that throws the ACC into a total blender. Everyone's questioning
Florida
what is
State all the way.
Clemson. Hey, maybe that happens early in the day. Maybe Clemson loses, and then LSU folks sit there and say, "Are we really what we thought we were?" That win in week 1 in retrospect doesn't look all that great. Then the line starts moving. People start betting Florida. And Florida loses anyway. It's all kind of different ways it can go Saturday. But I'm going to take Oregon State in the parlay. Same reasons I said, plus 23.5. But I'm taking Georgia Tech as my dog.
You feel like you're seeing that game clearly?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I thought you were going to say yes, and then I was going to say, like, what do you do if you're Clemson? Because you have the roster.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you do. Because you're 1-2 at that point. You told yourself after the LSU game, that's okay, we'll regroup, we'll get ready for conference play. If you start conference play with a loss, oh, by the way, you trailed Troy 16-0 at home last week. So you've scored 10 points and 27 points in your first 2 weeks. You don't know what your identity is. I guarantee you Georgia Tech does know what theirs is. They sat Haynes King, who could have played last week, to get him ready to probably run him like 30 times like they did against Colorado. Remember, they turned the ball over 3 times in the first quarter against Colorado and still found a way to win convincingly. I just think I was ready to pick this game in like April. I was ready to pick Georgia Tech in April. It just so happens that the line's all the way down to 3 or 3.5 now. So a lot of other people got on board, but that's okay. A lot of people can be right. I think a lot of people are going to be right on this one.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, you have the Ramen Noodle Express.
Yeah.
The
I got
train.
him at 6.5 early in the week.
Teams that are going to die, you should have like just the train station. You watch Yellowstone?
The Depot, I'm just trying to, yes, I'm trying to come up with a
We take
name.
them to the train
Depot
station.
of Desperation.
Throw them off the cliff. This team's going to the train
The
station
depot
this
of
weekend.
desperation.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
Maybe
Oh, that's right. I've
Dabo
already
goes to
had
the
one of
train
these.
station, they lose
You
this
really
game.
think Dabo's legacy is secured? This running back room, that's who's going to the Depot of Desperation. If you waste this defense and this quarterback and this wide receiver room because you couldn't run the ball, that's a tough look.
Yeah.
Maybe there was one in the portal that we don't believe in at Clemson. Maybe there was a tailback there. Maybe instead of Ahmad Hardy going to Missouri, he could have gone to Clemson and changed the entire season. This is not me mad at you. This is mad at them for not bending on their portal approach.
I'm with you. I was just about to say, I love the way you're looking at me right now because it is. It's like you're looking through me.
It's like Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It's sexual, but it's analytical.
Yeah. Violent.
It's violent,
Yeah.
but it's
one of the best
passive.
slashers of all time.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Only like 19 days till Spooktober, by the way, for those of you wondering.
And Cocktober,
And Squattober.
Bigtober.
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 You got any Tobers coming up?
October.
That's a good one.
Hell yeah.
Stick with
A
Old
little
Faithful
bit of
here.
public play, but it's
Yeah.
a good one.
My weekly parlay is Oregon minus 27.5 versus Northwestern. We saw what they did to Oklahoma State last week. Ducks are flying high right now. Ducks are flying high in a big way. Love Northwestern Stadium. It's like playing in a park. They have a phenomenal foliage. It's small. It's quaint. They don't fill it up a whole lot. A lot of people want to go to Chicago and do their entire thing. I think they might have the nicest facilities as far from like a space per square foot in all of college football. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But that's not a ball club over there. And to be honest with you, it's a little disappointing that they have their brand next to the Big Ten logo, which is the greatest brand right now in college football. So I got Oregon minus.
And Oregon's
27.5.
been on a heater now, covering.
Heater. More to more.
I'm hearing
they're moving around. That five-star kid is a stud. The 5-star kid scores a touchdown. Is another one of the wide receivers dominating a Cowboy into the end zone. Instead of celebrating his touchdown, he goes and gives with his buddy and be like, I fucking love the blocking.
Yeah.
They're dapping each other up. Like, Oregon, that pick's looking good for
And
me.
I'm hearing Northwestern, too. The head coach is talking a lot of shit about Lanning.
And that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, saying
That's the worst thing you can
Lanning
do.
seems like a guy that closes the fridge with his hip.
Really, said that out loud.
Said it out loud.
It would be a shame if Lanning saw this right now.
And heard it.
Yeah,
And the stuff
overheard.
about the wife and kids was off the record. So we
Yeah,
can't
the
even
wife
say
and
that
kids.
publicly.
Yeah, which was a crazy shot.
Couldn't believe
like
what he said.
a man saying that about another man is just nuts.
It's a shame.
I would never,
That's
but I guess the Northwestern head coach did.
That's society.
Saying you ain't shit.
Yeah,
Do with it what you will, Coach Lanning.
yeah.
We will be on
But
you.
make sure you
minus
cover.
27.5.
Make sure this camera's on me real quick. Make sure you guys cover. We're hammering that.
Yeah.
Great show.
Great show.
Hey, good luck this weekend, boys.
Especially.
Hey, good luck this weekend. Good competition out there. Good competition out there. Big hugs, tiny kisses. See you
Next week is the Bussin' Bowl.
Next
Next week's the Bussin' Bowl.
Next week is the Bussin'
Next week's the Bussin' Bowl.
And you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
Live show.
Live
gonna
show
be
is
there.
gonna be a
Coco
part of it.
Theater.
I'm going to be there.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Find out
September 19th.
what uniform he's wearing next week.
Willie C's birthday.
Man.